don't have the ability to be selective at this stage.
Well, but the thing is, I do, because I'm instilled with a freedom that is maybe God universe given, and I don't actually have to, because of the system, like you said, I don't have to play along with some corrupt game. So I gave up a career.
I think California is perfect for someone like you. How much of that is on their doing? How much of that is on the market where they're not finding ways to improve themselves?
It doesn't matter how much onus is on the individual.
That is exactly the problem. The onus is on the individual to improve themselves, and the system is in place to do something for yourself. When I was in school, I could have taken any number of different trades if I wanted to. I chose not to, unfortunately. If I had to do it over again, I 100% would take a trade. It was 100% the incentive was on me. I should have taken that opportunity to go and do something else. So it is 100% the onus is on the individual.
We want to create a world.
Of course it is.
No. See, we want to create a world in which people don't have to earn their right to exist, to live.
What are you talking about? You don't want people to earn their right to exist? Well, people don't have a right to exist if they can't earn the money to make it. Patrick says that it's an inefficiency with the government to actually spend the money properly. That's true. There should be a system where people that cannot afford healthcare are provided probably some sort of socialist healthcare system. It's not going to be the best thing in the world. There should also be a system where if somebody is like, if I need some surgery or something like that, and it's going to cost me, I either wait on the wait list for 4 years, or if I had 20 grand, I can go, and if I have that money, I should be able to go and pay to get it done. Yeah, it sucks and it's not fair, but that's kind of the way life is. And I find most of these people, everything's got to be equal. Everything's got to be fair. That is communism. But anyways, let's continue.
But the point is, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? Those are the inalienable rights. We shouldn't have to earn those rights. We shouldn't have to earn the right to healthcare.
You do have to earn it.
Earn the right. No, because
actually,
we just want to live, exist. We can't work our blood, sweat, and tears just to survive. That's a horrible dystopian world that we live in right now.
No, then what do you think we're here for? To just sit around and play video games?
Bam, he nails it right there. You're not just sit around and just live in the lap of luxury of the hard work and everything else that everybody else has put into the country. You're there to earn your peace as well. You're not there to just sit and exist and be a blob on society. Sorry if it sounds very harsh. I don't even know if I'm gonna put this video up because I think I'm probably gonna turn a lot of people off with my opinion on this, but it is my opinion and it is what it is.
And so when
Why
we
do you
say,
think that is?
I think that is partly because of the U.S. and I think because capitalist forces and global market insecurities have sabotaged these attempts to do socialism. So we look at an example in Chile in the 1960s. They elected a democratic socialist, and he proposed literacy reform, wealth redistribution, land reform, and all of that was a threat, obviously, to the United States because McCarthyism was on the rise at the time. And so instead of allowing Allende to have a chance with that, the U.S. Orchestrated a CIA-backed coup to take over and to have a military dictatorship that led the country instead of Allende, who actually was having a lot of success in reducing the poverty rates before the U.S. interfered. And so I think we look at other parts of Latin America, like Venezuela, for instance, and we see the U.S. has interfered several times, with Chavez in Venezuela. He was able to reduce the poverty reduction in half in the first decade.
Poverty decreased under Chavez from 62% to 32%, but today, under the system he created in the leadership of his handpicked successor, Venezuela's poverty rate is more than 90%. Oh my goodness, look at that. Due to inflation that once hit 300,000%, most citizens can't afford a proper meal. What a surprise that communism failed.
You're back at it again.
Yep. Yeah, so I think it's super important here for all leftists alike, but for the audience in general to define what these terms are. And I think the best way to do it would be to look at the theorists, right? Over history, we've seen communism and socialism talked about by governments and by, I guess, programs, but we never actually read the actual theory. And what theorists all agree on.
Theorists agree that communism, in theory, would work the best, but the problem is it does not, because people are incentivized to take everything that you toil in the field for. And that's why he was talking about in point number 3 there about, was it point 3 where he was talking about redistributing? Yeah, that's why it wouldn't work, because that's exactly what communism is. It's giving everybody the money equally. Some people will be incentivized to take theirs, and some other people will be more incentivized to sit and toil in the fields getting potatoes out.
is that socialism would be a transitionary state between capitalism and communism, where the means of production are specifically owned by workers, not privately. The idea that any country now is anywhere near socialist, let alone communist, would simply be ridiculous, and just it wouldn't reflect theory whatsoever.
What is the definition of communism to you?
Stateless, moneyless, classless society.
And you prefer that?
Yeah, so I think that we should be moving towards,
communism.
Yeah.
The fact that these people think that China is a better country than the US is absolutely insane to me. Now, look, maybe I've been propagandized to believe that the US is a better country. Forever and ever and ever, we were taught communism is like the worst thing in the world, and now they're being taught that communism is great. And all communism does is push everybody down to the same level. You might get some great writers and stuff like that out of there, but I that's not what I want. That's crazy.
The same thing. We see that the
How much you want to bet the PBD is going to say, so why aren't people moving to Chile and Venezuela?
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Grace?
Yes, Grace.
Good to meet you.
Hi. I want to say that I think it's pretty comical that an elite such as yourself has the gall to tell us average Americans who's in poverty and who's not. A lot of
When did he say that?
I was an average American.
You're
I
not
was
anymore.
a guy that was in poverty.
You're not anymore.
And you can also
you're
change. You can also change.
Anyways,
Do you believe
you're
you
talking
can change?
down. A lot of times that
How can he be talking down? I was literally in their place. He's not talking down to you. He is trying to lift you up. But you cannot see that because you are so entitled to think that your opinion is correct. And that is the one thing that I learned from watching him, is that your opinion can and has to change when you are presented with new information. If it does not, you are in a trap.
9.
Do you live
Our
here?
minimum wage nationally is $7.25.
Okay.
And you wonder why we have the highest poverty rate. You think that capitalism's winning? Can you survive? Would you like to live off $7.25
I used
an
to
hour?
work for $4.25 at Haagen-Dazs.
Right.
Then I
and
went
that was
and
a very
worked
different
at
time.
Burger King for $4.75.
And how much do you make
Then
now?
I make millions today. Then
Right,
I
and
worked
that's
at
why
Bob's
you like
Big Boy.
capitalism, because we're not all making that.
But
and
the
that's
difference
my point.
is, but
a
the difference
millionaire is
between
critiquing the people in poverty
the
and saying
difference, my
you should
hope,
work harder. You should work. You know,
my
you can be
hope,
lean.
my
We can't
hope,
all be it.
My hope is
No, you can't. But if you're not trying to be him, then you're doing it wrong. No, not everybody is going to be him. It's the same as YouTube. YouTube is the exact same thing. You only get out of it what you put in. If you put in the effort, you have a higher chance of getting something out of it at the end. You're not guaranteed anything. But if you're not trying, if you're stuck working at Starbucks saying my job sucks, and you spend 30 years there, you don't bother to go to school and learn a trade or learn something, try to do something, try to better yourself, what are you doing? You don't have any right to complain about it. Yeah, it sucks, but it's worse elsewhere. Way worse.
within 5 years, the people that don't know how to handle money themselves, they would lose it all. And within 5 years, the same wealthy would get the same amount of money.
As someone who certainly doesn't make that much money, I'm willing to take that as a gamble just for fun.
Right,
I'll be
sure.
honest. But at the same time, like, okay, so you're just now claiming that people who don't have wealth don't know how to manage it. And that's fair because a lot of them have never had it before. So what do we do to
Schools need to be teaching people how to manage their money better.
basically ensure that people like myself who are currently, thank you to the United States, thank you to the state of California for giving me medical insurance to get blood work, for giving me food stamps so I can have food. I've applied to, I don't know how many hundreds of jobs. I can show you the receipts. I can show you the email confirmations. Like, I am trying my best to use my values with the freedom that we have
So if
here.
I give you a job, you would work 40 hours a week?
If the job is in alignment with something that's noble and good, I think I could. The issue
You're putting if it's noble and good, I will do the job, but those jobs don't tend to pay. They're the stuff that you do on the side.
is, and again, you may say that this is a personal weakness, but like right now, substitute teaching, tutoring, trying to help in that way is making it so that I'm able to scratch by.
Yeah.
But without the supplemental income and the help from the society of people who make more money,
But let's
I'm going to not have enough
if I
food.
may, I want to address something which you made a point that I agree with. on why don't some people create wealth. In my family, when I was growing up, and I was telling this young lady over here, when my dad was a cashier at a 99-cent store, we've never owned an insurance policy before. My parents, we've never owned a house before. I've never lived in an apartment with a swimming pool before. We've never had a 401k, stock, mutual fund, none of that stuff. I had no clue how money worked. So for me, when I got out of the Army with a 1.8 GPA, out of high school, I went straight to the Army because I didn't know how money works. If you look at our system today, in high school, we learn about a lot of different things. They don't teach us about taxes, finances, mutual funds, stocks, bonds. Colleges don't even teach a lot of that right now. So
Do you
come
work
out.
in a high school?
Did I work at a high school?
Do you have experience like me, someone who's essentially on those front lines working in?
I've worked with many high school teachers and the directors of psychology to talk to the youth. Yes, I have.
So right now, I'm in a position where I have options, like you said. I do have some options, but they seem to be somewhat destructive and exploitative of me, of my peers. So I'm trying to
I think you're too
discriminate.
selective for jobs right now. You don't have the ability to be selective at this stage.
Well, but the thing is, I do because
I'm
instilled with a freedom that is maybe God universe given, and I don't actually have to because of the system, like you said. I don't have to play along with some corrupt game. So I gave up
I think California
a career.
is perfect for someone like you.
Well,
Shit. I want to sort of explain why I'm recording the video. I had something to say, obviously. I started doing this because of him. I had no incentive to do anything else. I didn't have any desire to do anything else before this. I was spending most of my time playing video games. Totally fine with it. And then I started watching Patrick. I don't agree with everything that he says. The majority of it, though, when it comes to business and it comes to the stuff that he's talking about here, and it is simply because of his mentality that I decided to do YouTube. Because what am I doing? And I'm just sitting playing a video game. I'm not accomplishing anything. And I said, well, how do I better myself? What can I possibly do to better myself? I started doing YouTube. May not be successful. I got to do what I can try to do in the time that I have. Son of a bitch.